The hype that built towards the final horizon was unbelievable. Not too long after the release of Sonic Frontiers, Sonic Team put out an update schedule for the following year, featuring the inclusion of many fan-favorite Sonic music tracks now being selectable in the main game, additional high-speed challenges, an optional update to the game's visuals tailored towards Sonic's birthday, that I never used, and the final horizon. We were teased with an additional story addendum and new playable characters. Immediately, this threw the Sonic fan community into a frenzy. Not only did this mean Sonic Frontiers is getting a newly written story by Ian Flynn added onto the game entirely for free, but this would also be the first time Tails, Knuckles, and Amy would be playable in a mainline 3D Sonic title since Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. This needed to be big. Later in the year, a trailer was put out detailing the new adventure, and I felt like I was going to cry. Being a fan my entire life, Sonic Frontiers was the first title I'd actively followed from the lead up to its release, and especially one that I'd been pleasantly surprised with. So being that it's accomplishing milestones while I get to ride alongside it is breathtaking. I was ready for whatever storm was about to hit. Find your fortune, forge a new destiny, uncover the ultimate truth, rewrite your story. Sonic Frontiers, the final horizon.
He took your home world. He took your lives. Are you going to let him do it all over again? I need your help. We can end this. Please.
The ending of Sonic Frontiers was a mixed bag. While it ended things on a bittersweet note with Eggman's situation, things gameplay-wise were a bit strange, piloting the final Titan in a Galaga-style shooter game as opposed to anything we'd been more familiar with left many asking questions. Was this the ending they had intended? Why are we doing this? Why aren't we playing as Super Sonic? Was this finished? In a way, Sonic Frontiers The Final Horizon attempts to correct this. In Sonic Frontiers, once Sonic arrives on the final island, he's once again tasked with collecting the Chaos Emeralds to defeat the Supreme Titan. Afterwards, the End appears, prompting Sage and Sonic to control the vacant Supreme and push the End back into space, with Sage ultimately sacrificing herself to take out the End for good. Sonic lands back on Earth to his friends fully restored while Eggman suffers the loss of the cyber being he thought of as his daughter. In Sonic Frontiers The Final Horizon, we take things back to Sonic's arrival on Oranos Island. Or Oranos Island. Oranos Island? What? To end the story in a different way. After completing the towers on Rhea, Sonic arrives on Oranos Island where he meets up with Sage and then later Eggman and the Sonic Heroes. Whereas in the original ending, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy sacrificed their cyber energy to save Sonic during the final stretch, here they play an integral role.
I can reverse your friends' efforts and restore them. They would then seek out the Chaos Emeralds for us. And then I would guide you on how to convert that corruption into power so that you may end this conflict and save Father.
And save the world, too, right?
It is his to conquer, so yes.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Tails, Knuckles, and Amy explore Oranos Island to retrieve the Chaos Emeralds, coming to dead ends at every turn.
Wait, it's not here. Why isn't it here?
The vault I found was empty. I'll try another. You should too.
Amy is able to speak with the Elder Coco, who reveal that since enemies have invaded the island, they've hidden the Chaos Emerald locations using their own technology. With this information, the Sonic Heroes use their own abilities to find these discrete locations and collect each emerald. Sonic, on the other hand, is off ascending multiple towers that serve as memorials to the pilots of the previous Titans that once lost their lives in the battle against the End. These are the same Titans that Sonic would destroy throughout the main story of Frontiers. Atop each tower resides that original pilot who then challenges Sonic with obstacles, testing his abilities to get a sense of who he truly is and to understand his purpose. Once Sonic gains the trust of each pilot, including Master King Coco, who is seen as the wisest, he's given the ability to utilize his cyber corruption as a form of power, but is cautioned not to lose himself, as it wasn't originally meant for him. Familiar to the original ending, Sonic takes on the Supreme Titan. Afterwards, however, the End decides to pilot the vessel itself, and Sonic goes up against the Titan once more, but this time as it's puppeted by the End. After taking multiple energy blasts, Super Sonic harnesses the cyber power within him to power up, that cyber energy showing through his eyes. Making light work of the Titan, the End manages to drop its weapon, to which Eggman seizes the opportunity and plugs into it himself, now being able to wield it from afar. With their guard down, the End unleashes a barrage of energy spheres that are quickly but diminishingly defended against by Sage. Noticing her weakening grip, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy appear and hold onto the barrier shield with their cyber energy to keep it steady against the flurry of attacks.
Sonic, it's now or never!
Once the End appears to lose control of Supreme, Super Sonic zooms into the barrel of its weapon as Eggman raises it high. Inside, Super Sonic harnesses all of his remaining cyber energy, gaining a new form powered entirely from it. As Eggman launches the weapon, Super Sonic flies out, with us only getting a quick glimpse of his new appearance. He not only disintegrates Supreme, but shoots directly through the End, causing it to explode, removing it from existence. A battered Super Sonic drifts through space before eventually landing back on Earth, bringing us back to the original ending of Sonic Frontiers. What I love about the Final Horizon from a narrative standpoint is just how much of an alternate scenario it comes off as. It gives the impression that this is what the team wanted to do from the beginning, but could have possibly run out of time to implement. It's been said that Sonic Frontiers, even with the 1-year delay it received, was only within the fully completed state about a week before its release. If true, it makes sense that the ending could have been sped out for time. I mean, there's no way a Galaga minigame was intended to be our true sign-off. It is what Frontiers needed to make itself feel more whole. The final boss against the End this time around is wildly more cinematic, and one that leaves me ever so slightly torn. While I don't prefer exactly how the fight was carried out before, there was something about fighting the End head on while it chastised and threatened you the entire time, as opposed to fighting the End through a vessel that happened to be the exact same Titan you just fought. The stakes felt a bit stronger in the previous aspect, especially given that Sage was sacrificed to see it through. However, the emotion this time around just in the fight itself I feel was heightened. Once the Sonic heroes come in to help, we get a vocal rendition of I'm Here, but this time by Kellen Quinn, the artist known for performing the Titan themes earlier in the game. I can honestly say I greatly prefer Kellen's vocals on the track compared to the original. Not that the original was bad by any stretch of the imagination, it's just the screamy vocals just weren't for me. Kellen sings the song straight, and in a way it brings things back around. Now being 2 weeks past the release of the Final Horizon, I'm just now noticing background vocals near the end of the song that would play during the cutscene, and it is amazing. Being that Kellen performed the theme for each Titan Sonic triumphed before, it only made sense for Kellen to be brought back for the main theme, Against the End. It gives the impression that Sonic sees the End as nothing but another Titan. It's the end-all be-all, the destroyer of worlds, disguised as a giant moon, but to Sonic, it's all the same. Everything is brought full circle, and this one addition adds so much. Let's talk about the characters. Amy's resolve to help the Coco is exactly as strong as it was before. I mean, because like it's the same game. Duh, why did I write that? She uses her fortune cards once to guide her in finding the Chaos Emeralds, which is strange. For something Sega and Sonic Team pushed so hard into her character, being featured in the animated clips for Sonic Origins, the trailer for the Final Horizon, and nearly all of her attack moves in-game, the fortune cards serve little to no purpose in helping her throughout the story, which I feel is a bit of a missed opportunity. It almost felt as though the one cutscene with her reading them was put in as an afterthought. She reads them and realizes, maybe I should ask the Coco for help, which is what she would have done Anyways, huh? Her cutscenes at certain points also just sort of feel like padding. After asking the Elder Coco for assistance, she's told that they've hidden the Chaos Emeralds as a safety measure. Later on, she asks the Hermit Coco for help, who then tells her the exact same thing the Elder did, but she responds as though it's entirely new information. Like, they just told you that. This aside, I love how hard she goes into her desire to protect them. Cindy Robinson does an amazing job with the new direction for Frontiers, and at times almost sounds like her voice is giving out.
Well, too bad. They need me. I won't give up.
Despite a few undersights, Amy was wonderful in the base game and continues to be so in the final Horizon. Knuckles does things. He smashes stuff. That's all you really need to know. He doesn't really do much. I guess technically none of them really do, but he has his moments. Knuckles and Tails have a really nice scene together, telling him it's okay to ask for help when he needs it. It's just nice knowing that Knuckles wants to look out for him in the same way. For the most part, that's just Knuckles. He's the strong, never give up character he's always been, just not too much to say about him this time around.
Oh no you don't. Sonic handled 4 islands of this mess. I'm not going down to just one. You hear that? This isn't over until I win!
It's really nice to see Tails lifted up in the way he is here. He's strong enough to do things on his own, but feels doubt at certain points, most likely due to the stakes of the situation. At different points in the story, you can hear Amy and Knuckles giving words of encouragement, pushing Tails to pull through while they each go after the emeralds, and it's very wholesome.
I'll keep hunting them down. You get us those emeralds.
Don't stop now, Tails. We're counting on you.
We've cleared the way for you, kid. Finish it.
Each character slowly succumbs to the cyber corruption Sonic once had to endure, and Tails even looks towards the end and attempts to tell it off.
If I'm going to be at his side, then I need to keep at his pace. I won't let this stop me. You never stood a chance against Sonic. Now you're up against all 4 of us. You should have quit while you were behind.
This is something I liked a lot. The big scary being in the sky threatening the planet, and 8-year-old Tails standing against it, even though he can't really see it. It's not a huge thing, but just something that I saw as somewhat powerful. Sometimes you can find the other heroes scattered across the island. Each character can interact with each other, triggering a short cutscene conversation, and there are a lot of them. Some reaffirming the characters' belief in each other and catching up, and others showing just how fleshed out Sonic Team made the Ancients and the Starfall Islands. It's really admirable. One of my absolute favorite interactions, however, is between Tails and Dr. Eggman. We've known that Eggman has some sort of respect for Sonic, even outside moments when they're essentially forced to work with each other, but Tails and the Doctor have a relationship like no other.
There's so much happening on this island. It's beyond my comprehension. It all seems like magic to me.
Here's a word of advice. A scientist shouldn't explain things using the word magic. It's true, there are many things that can't be explained with our current knowledge. The Ancients were a technologically advanced civilization. Everything we've seen is nothing more than phenomena that were common at the time. I assure you, there is no such thing as magic on this island. Just you watch. I will uncover the truth behind everything.
See, this is what I love most about the tone of Sonic Frontiers. It's a dire situation and a melancholy game with characters just trying to figure things out, and it lends itself to some interesting dialogue. These two characters are legitimately speaking about scientific things and in a way teaching each other through their own perspectives. It's a pairing we rarely ever see and befitting of both of them. I feel it also shows just how far Tails has come. I couldn't imagine Tails from Sonic Heroes conversing with a doctor like this. Then again, Heroes Tails voice-wise felt like more of a regression than anything. This game throws these characters into a room and just lets them talk about things, and I could not appreciate it more for it.
You guys are the best.
What does that make me?
Fashionably late. But hey, you tried.
Eggman has some fun banter with Sonic, but I feel he really shines in the different character interactions across the island. He's very well versed in the Ancients and is able to explain the different bits of technology created involving them, and it's nice to just sit back and hear what he's gathered. Sage is nice as well. Same with Eggman, her moments mainly come from the character interactions, which some may say isn't much. I mean, I'm partially inclined to agree at least a little bit. I just feel it's nice to hear her just speaking with the other heroes and seeing their emotions at the forefront. I do wish we got just a teeny bit more for her to do. Sonic is written as beautifully as ever. The comic book vibe Ian Flynn gives to his dialogue shines here, and he feels like the action hero I've always loved about him. Whatever game succeeds this will be abysmal without Ian Flynn on board. We cannot go back to another Happy Tree Friends era. I even love his conversations with the Coco, especially the Master King. Partially, at least.
Wow, somebody's feeling high and mighty. Anyway, Sage says you're the one who can turn the cyber corruption into new power. Is that right?
레일 포즈는 슈라. 내 비르켄 그리우데르 가르키. 내 바이크 미우켄 다슈리르 리도 완티.
And now you're a rock in a chair.
We've known the Coco to have their own language, but we rarely hear them speaking sentences to Sonic and company. It doesn't feel as cohesive as it really should, I think. We get a back and forth between Sonic and Master King Coco that's written very well, but with the Coco speaking their own language in audio, it doesn't hit as strong as I feel it could have. I even felt this with Amy and her conversations prior. I wish you could hear them speaking and then an English voice layered over top, because otherwise I feel like I'm losing a bit of the tension, but it wasn't that big a deal. Sonic is still cocky here, but can show signs of breaking. After completing Master King's trial, which involved fighting Giganto, Wyvern, and Knight on just 400 rings, he essentially shrugs it off, while leaving a bit of a pause to convey some sort of quiet but overpowered doubt in himself.
Hey, nice of you to catch up.
Were you successful?
Naturally.
Good. Unfortunately, your friends aren't handling their cyber corruption nearly as well.
He's confident, but not unbreakable, somewhat of a perfect in-between. There's so much to love here, and Roger Craig Smith gives his best performance of the character yet. The fight against the end proves this without a shadow of a doubt, and it actually made me tear up. The dire circumstances, the vocal performance, the music ramping up with the tension, Amy, Tails, and Knuckles saving Sage at the last moment, the theatrics, everything coming together. Regardless of the original post-credit scene, Sage not needing to be sacrificed in and of itself leads to so many opportunities for the character in future outings. Every character in this game played a role in saving the Starfall Islands from peril, and it made for an ending like no other. This is the closest we've been yet to a final battle with the essence of Dark Gaia from Sonic Unleashed. I genuinely cannot believe the emotions this update gave me. This is what Sonic fans have been waiting for a long time. It's almost as if we were deprived of it. From frustration to the gameplay, I mean, I literally have close to 10 hours filmed just trying to progress through it, to elation, to near crying by the end. It's everything I could have wanted in a Sonic title like this. Where Sonic Frontiers was placed on my favorite games list, the Final Horizon completed the story and moved it up even higher, to now where I consider Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Colors, and Sonic Frontiers the new age Sonic adventure, which is one of the hottest takes you could ever imagine. For what we now know as the full version of Sonic Frontiers, I could not be happier nor proud of what Sonic Team pushed out this time. Sonic, looks like you're going all out after